Hello everyone and welcome to week 10 of Field. I hope Field is treating you great and you guys are continuing to flourish and learn as things progress. So I just wanted to check in with you guys. You guys are doing a great job with your case presentations. I'm really impressed. I know it can be a difficult task to kind of role play some scenarios and think about interventions that you're implementing, but I wanted to say that I know many of you guys have had some questions around interventions, and of course I want them to be evidence-based. So like, for example, if you're using cognitive behavioral therapy, you can explore, cognitive distortions and practice cognitive restructuring. And so you don't necessarily have to say, hey, I'm doing this intervention. But you can kind of be mindful, okay, this is what I'm using. And then that's when you write your case summary, you can kind of put specifically what you used. Because 9 times out of 10, I can kind of tell what you guys are working on from the video. But it's just important to know that what framework you're working from when you're doing your role plays to kind of gear your intervention. So that's just an example of what you can do for your case presentations. But you guys are doing great thus far. If you have any questions, let me know. I know this is the last week, so if you are assigned for week 10, please make sure that you post. Okay, great. So that's the case reviews. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions or concerns. The first friendly reminder that I have is just preparing for termination with clients with the support of your field instructor. I think it's such a important part of our process, because I know we as clinicians and social workers get attached just as much as our clients do for various reasons, especially when we spend a significant amount of time with them. So, just kind of preparing yourself and preparing, proper ways to do that so that it doesn't feel so abrupt when it does take place. And, I always do celebrations. So depending on what your field instructor and the agency usually practices, usually celebrations of some sort are really helpful in getting everyone to kind of process in a positive manner. So if you guys have any questions about termination or feeling on edge about how to address maybe a termination process with a client, please feel free to reach out. I want to be able to support you guys in that process. The next thing we kind of went over already was the case review, so I'm not going to go further in that. Just make sure that you receive consent from whoever's going to participate in your role play and upload their signed consent form to engage. The other thing is, I just wanted you guys to be mindful that your second process recording is due by the end of week 14, but this is a really good time to sit down with your field instructor and think about something that you might want to present. So then that way your field instructor will have enough time to give comments and sign everything, because I know they can get really busy as well. So I would just begin that process so that you can have your paperwork signed and handed in on time. The other thing was to make sure you continue with your peer-to-peer discussions. You need a total of 5 by the end of the semester. And the last thing is your field reflection log is due in week 11. So you guys are very familiar with that and you're doing a great job. I just want to challenge you guys to think about when at the very end, when the category, when it asks you about what you could have done differently, I want you to think about more clinical evidence-based practices that you could have done that maybe you look back now and say, hey, maybe I could have really used psychodynamic theory or motivational interviewing to reach a client, or maybe I could have used cognitive behavioral therapy, things that are really popular, or play therapy, to kind of work with a client to try to expect this type of outcome. So that's kind of what I'll be looking for around this reflection log for you guys to dig just a little deeper. And if you get stuck on that or have any questions, let me know. Just 2 important notes for this week. For some reason, and I apologize to anyone this has affected, the grades from beginning of the semester, some of them uploaded, some of them don't. So some of you guys were missing grades from weeks 3 and 4, and I had completed those grades weeks and weeks ago, and for some reason I was lucky enough that someone reached out and I didn't see that they were missing until then. So I apologize. I hope I didn't give anyone a panic attack, but you guys are doing great with your assignments. And then if you have stuff that's you're missing from earlier on in the weeks, let me know. I'm going to keep making sure that I check. But usually when I go back to check grades, it tells me that it's there. So I think there's just a glitch in the system, and I have reached out to IT. The other important note is in preparation for the holiday, just make sure you talk to your field instructor about you guys having off. You do have off for the Thanksgiving holiday. However, if you are in a field placement such as the crisis center or the emergency room, where usually they're open regardless of the holidays, if you don't choose to go in, of course I don't want to encourage you to. I want you to spend your family time with your families, but if you don't go in, you can't count the hours. So for example, if you're at a placement like a nonprofit agency that usually follows all of the holidays, then you'll be closed and you can count the hours. However, if you're like at a crisis center or a hospital, if you don't go in, you can't count the hours. So I hope that provides some clarity. I don't know if I'm totally on board with the whole policy, but I think it'll be helpful in getting you guys to prepare for the holiday season. So if you have any questions around that, please feel free to reach out to Michelle and I, and we can kind of guide you on what is expected from you. So you're off from field, but you're not necessarily off for the coursework. So coursework will still have to be due. So I just want to encourage you that if you're someone like me who just would rather enjoy family time without necessarily worrying about anything, if you can get stuff done previously that week, if it works out with your schedule, I would encourage you to do that. But yeah, other than that, you guys are doing really great work. I'm enjoying reading a lot of your work and looking at your case presentations. I think that you guys are doing an amazing job. So if you guys have any questions about the feedback about the case presentations, feel free to shoot me an email. I just want to be a part of your growth process. So you guys have a great week, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.